All right, hello everyone. We are going to be creating a tree collage inspired by the artwork of Kandinsky. He has a very famous painting of circles that a lot of people use for inspiration to create sort of an abstract version of something. So abstract means we're going to make it look less realistic and more, either add more shape or more line or more color to it. So in this case, we're actually adding a lot more color and shape because we're focusing on that circle shape for the leaves of our tree. So when we get started, we do need 3 big sheets of paper. One of them should be black for the tree, and then you can pick 2 colors. One will be the sky and one will be the ground. And then you need some little pieces of paper. I have the rainbow set of colors here. If you want to do more colors than that, you can. If you want to do less, that's fine too. It gets a little bit tough if you only have a couple colors though, because we're trying to make circles of different colors and we're going to kind of layer them. So I would say at least have 4 different colors here in these little pieces, if not more. So when I get started, I am going to need my, I don't know if I mentioned you need your scissors and glue too. Glue stick's fine, glue bottle's fine. If you're using a glue bottle, remember just a dot, not a lot. So the white crayon will be for the tree. So I don't need that yet. What I need right now are my 2 colored sheets. And the first thing I want to do is I want to decide which one's the sky. I think I'm going to do it maybe a little bit less normal way and do orange sky with blue ground. A lot of people would probably use blue for the sky, but I'm going to switch it around. So this is my sky. And then after my sky piece, I need to put my ground piece kind of on top. And what I'm going to do is I am going to cut a line, maybe a little bit curvy, but I'm going to get a piece going for the bottom of my paper. That's going to be my ground. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue that on first. So if I use my glue bottle, remember, just a dot, not a lot. So you want to use kind of like tiny little dots around the edge. Glue stick, obviously, again, go around the edge. And I'm going to flip this over and line it up so it's fitting across the bottom of my paper. All right, so after I have done that, then I'm ready to do the tree. And when I'm doing the tree, I want to make sure to use the black paper because the tree is actually kind of like a silhouette. So that means that I'm going to draw on the back of the black paper with white to kind of get my tree shape started. So I always start with the trunk first, and it's going to kind of come up part of the way. And then I can keep going and make that a branch at the top. And then I usually add some other really large branches. And then I'm going to start doing some medium-sized branches that come off of my large branches. And I think I want maybe one more over here. And then one there. All right. So they always kind of look like Y's coming off. Now, I didn't worry about the thickness. Obviously, the bottom of the tree should be like a little bit thicker than the branches are, but I'm going to worry about that when I cut around the tree. So I'm going to be doing what I call bubble cutting, which means I'm not actually cutting on the line. I'm going to be cutting next to the line and kind of going around the line. So when I do this, I start at the bottom of the paper. Remember, the trunk is kind of thicker, so I'm going to start a little bit farther away from that white line. Do your check on your hold for your grip for your scissors. Make sure your thumb's on top, fingers on the bottom. You want your scissors staying put, and you really want to use your other hand to kind of move the paper. So I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go up, and I'm going to turn the paper as I get around, and then I'm going to cut to the end of that branch, okay? I'm not going to do this little space yet. I'm going to wait on that until I cut out all the bigger parts of the tree. So I'm going to go and actually kind of just go around the top here like this. I'm staying a little bit away from the ends of the branches. And I'm going to do that all the way back around. And then I'm going to come back down, and remember the trunk needs to be kind of bigger, so especially near the base, so I'm kind of cutting away from the white line a little bit. All right, so obviously that's not a tree yet. It's the start of a tree. Looks like maybe it's a very leafy tree, but I need to go back now, and on the in-between parts of the branches, I am going to cut, and always cut from the outside in, like that. Okay, and then I move that piece out of there. This one's a lot longer than the other ones. So I'm following along the side of the branch, but I'm not on the line, because if I'm on the line, there's a good chance I might not be able to keep it all together. Now, if the part of the tree falls apart, it's not the end of the world, because you can definitely glue the pieces down and just make them so that they're glued next to each other. Oops, look what I just did. I didn't cut enough. So I'm gonna show you how to fix that. So if you have anything that comes off, don't worry about it. We'll put it back together when we glue it down. All right, a little bit left. All right, one last little one right here. Okay, so obviously we don't want the white line showing, so we're gonna flip this over. Oh, I got a little funky on that cut there on the end of that branch. And then, there we go. That one, I'm gonna show you how to kind of reattach that. I'm gonna attach that little piece last. So on this side, I'm gonna do kind of I'm basically gonna trace my white lines with just a tiny bit of glue. I don't wanna go too much glue. I don't wanna make globs of glue. So I'm actually resting the glue bottle on the paper and just gently sort of squeezing on the bottle to get just a nice thin line of glue. All right, so now I'm gonna flip this over, and I wanna line up the bottom of it first on my paper before I set it down. And then I'm gonna kind of let it fall and hold it. All right, so get everything pressed down there. And then if you have a broken piece, like I said, we just add that back on with the glue. No big deal. Okay, so I'm gonna line that back up where it should have been. And it's like it never happened. All right, so there's my tree. So now that the tree's done, I'm ready to start building the circles for the leaves. Now, I'm gonna do the smallest, and then I'm gonna grow them bigger, basically. So on each of these colors, I want to cut out one small circle. If you're not using a lot of colors, you might wanna cut out 2 small circles. So I'm just gonna get in there, and I'm gonna cut nice, tiny little circles. Do they have to be perfect circles? No, they do not. Notice I'm spinning the paper. It's almost like throwing a Frisbee sometimes. I am not turning the scissors. I'm using what I call my pinch hold. So fingers are curled here. I'm holding the paper down with my thumb. Make sure I don't accidentally cut my hand. All right, so once I've got a little circle from each paper, my next job is actually gonna be to glue them on. The challenge here is putting them on a piece of paper that makes them stand out. So I don't want to put red on orange because those colors are too close together when I look at the rainbow. So when I do this, maybe before I glue, I look at my papers, kind of figure out where the best place is as far as colors. So I think I'm gonna put my blue on the yellow, put my red on the blue. I'll put the green on the red because that's kind of like an opposite. Those always work really well. I'll put orange over here on purple, purple on green, and yellow on orange. All right, so they all stand out really well there. And then I'm just gonna pop a little dot of glue, not anything major, teeny dot in the middle, and then press them on. Make sure you leave a little paper all the way around because we need that to cut them out again. So don't put them all the way against the edge. Now, I'm gonna show you how to do this a couple of times. You really wanna build these up. Maybe not every single one of them you're gonna do the same amount of times. So some of these might have 3 circles of color. Some you might do 4 or 5 to get bigger ones and smaller ones. But you do wanna do all of them to start with. You need, I would say, at least 3 colors on all of these. All right, so now I'm gonna start cutting around. So I'm cutting now and leaving the orange edge showing. You can see we'll leave a little. You can leave a little more or a little less, that's up to you. Doesn't have to be perfect. We're just trying our best. And so then I'll have 2 colors for each of my leaves for my tree. And like I said, we want to do at least 3 colors for each of them. And then some of them maybe do 4 or even 5 to kind of grow them bigger. All right, one more. So I'm going to keep using these same strips of paper. If you want to throw some black in there too, you can. You probably have some scraps that you could use from your tree piece. So like I could add in black on some of these, and that could be really interesting as well. So maybe I'll do that for that one. And then, let's see, figure out where I'm putting these next. So I think that'll look good on green. This one doesn't have purple, so that could go on there. I'm gonna do yellow on this one. Those are my primary colors. Maybe blue on this one, and actually I think I'm gonna flip-flop these. I'm gonna do that one there and put this on the blue because I think they stand out better that way. So once you've got that figured out, you're gonna put another little kind of dot of glue on the back, nothing too much, and then line it up so you can have blue showing all the way around. Same thing for all these. Make sure you line them up so that you're gonna be able to see the color all the way around when you cut them out again. I don't know if you've noticed, but I kind of wiggle these when I get them on there. That actually spreads out the glue from the dot a little bit and helps them stick better. So I just give it a little wiggle, and then I kind of feel it actually sort of lock in place. That way it's not moving on me when I'm trying to cut it out. All right, so now I'm gonna cut them out again, keeping that edge so you can see the blue all the way around. And then some of these you might leave as just 3 colors, and then some you might do some more. So that way you have those different sizes. You'll notice when I'm cutting, I don't close the scissors very much. When you're cutting something curved like this, if you snap the scissors closed, they're straight. You're not gonna get a curve that way. But if you only close them a little bit, they kind of move themselves forward when you reopen them. And so you get a little bit easier time cutting something small and circular like this if you're not closing the scissors very much. So I'm barely closing the scissors at all. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave a couple of these with just 3. I don't think I wanna leave one with an orange edge because the paper's orange there. This one's pretty big already, and I like how it stands out. Again, black edge, probably not so great because then it blends in with the tree. So maybe I'll leave this one. I'm kind of organize these towards the ends of the branches to start with. All right, so then maybe these other 4 I decide to go ahead and add. Now the challenge here is trying to find a color you haven't used yet in it. So this one can go on green because there isn't any green there. Let's see, I think I'll do this one on purple. Do that one on yellow, and then oh, I already used red there. Can't do that again. Nope, I don't think I want to use orange on that one. Actually, I'll use orange on that one, and I'll do it one more time. Okay, so again, it's kind of just this pattern of adding them on, give them a good wiggle so they stick, and then cutting them out again. And one more up here. All right. So now these ones are going to be a little bit bigger because they're going to have 4 colors for their circles. So maybe that one can kind of go on those 2 branches there. And this one, move this out of the way. That could go kind of right there. And then maybe these last 2, I go even bigger, and I add on a next color. Ooh, that one's sliding around a little bit. All right, so for these last 2, I am going to put one more round on. It's gonna get really tough now because I already have 4 colors there. So I think I can do red for that one and yellow for that one. I'm gonna put a little swirl of glue this time because they are getting a little bit larger, or I could do maybe 4 dots of glue. That would probably hold it on a little better than just 1 dot. All right, so there's kind of my last round. And these ones are really large. I don't know, tough. Sometimes it's a challenge to figure out where you want to put them. Now, one of the other things you can do after you glue all these down, you got to kind of figure out where they're going first. Maybe I'm going to move that up there. Put that one there. I feel like I don't want those two next to each other because they have a lot of purple. Or we could do, kind of like that there. So it is kind of a game of arranging these and figuring out where you want them. I feel like this big one might fit both those branches better up there. Put that there. So obviously I only have 6 here. If you made more than 6, great. But the way to kind of finish filling out the tree is to take some of those colors that are going to stand out real nice and actually go back and add just a couple of smaller sort of single circles too. So, you know, I can put a little green one there, maybe add a purple one. So adding in these little like extra leaves kind of help fix where there might be some holes that you want to see more in the tree than what you have. And I would just try to avoid, again, the sky color and the black for doing these little ones, unless you're gonna have them kind of floating along the edge of the tree. So then kind of using some of these smaller single circles and then kind of filling in the tree. And then when you're done, you're just gonna glue all your pieces on, but I wouldn't glue anything down until you've got it arranged the way you want it. So I feel like I would still probably put a few more in here before I actually glue it down. All right, I hope you have fun. I look forward to seeing your trees.